Hey, how about now? Can you guys hear me? Wow, that was awesome. So, let's start that over. Great start to the afternoon stream here. I want to thank you guys for shouting me out, and I'm not paying attention there. Anyways, we got a beer cracked. It's the evening. It's been a long day. I took a nap. Haven't done a whole lot except for watch the scoreboard and communicate with the guys, but it's wearing me out. So anyways, once again, let's thank our sponsors all over again. 903 Bait Company out of Bullard, Texas. Hand-poured plastics. Go check them out on Facebook. They got a Facebook page where you can place your orders. These baits got rattles in them. Some of them do. I'm assuming some of the guys are tossing them. I would guess. I'd be throwing free baits all day if I had them. Well, I do have them, but obviously I'm not fishing. So hopefully these guys are out there getting it done with some 903 baits. Second sponsor, we got to shout out Hogsback Custom Rods. They donated a rod or rods to the champions of this tournament series. That will be crowned in September at our second event. So you guys need to stay tuned to us here and watch what happens after this event and next event to see who wins that sweet custom rod. They got them all: open water, ice fishing. Like I was saying, I've got my ice fishing rods I've been using for a couple years, a crappie stick, got a walleye sticks, got me a musky rod last year, haven't caught one yet, gonna try this year, and I've got me a crappie stick that is tried and true, my trusty dusty rod. And last but not least, thank you to Minnesota Made Outdoors for letting us hijack the YouTube channel and their fans. It is much appreciated. We've got you guys in here. Looks like 13 of you are tuned in. Don't forget, I keep forgetting to remind you guys, but please don't forget to share the live stream on Facebook. Share the YouTube one if you are so inclined. That helps a lot to get people in here paying attention to this tournament. It's been awesome so far. A lot of fish caught, a lot of changes to the leaderboard that you guys are going to see here soon after we get through the scoreboard, or after we get through the check-ins, I'm sorry. We'll get into the scoreboard and take a look at some of these fish that everyone's catching. So, yeah, anyways, I'm going to run through the comments again after you guys all told me you can't hear me. So it looks like you can now. And let's see, Minnesota Made Outdoors is tuned in. Yeah, straight fire. Just killing it right now. There it is. Sweet. All right, so thanks for letting me know there. All right, let's jump into it. The scoreboard has changed quite a bit from round one. And let's go ahead and take a look at the scoreboard from round one. I posted it up there on Facebook, but if you haven't taken a look, let's go back here and take a look at the scoreboard from round one, and we can see how things have changed. So add to the stream. There we go. So as it was said in the first round, Hogsback was leading it with 5 points. They had the tiebreaker in total inches. The Bass Holes did not score any points in round one, so we've only got 5 teams on the board right now. So Hogsback in first, Mud Puddle in second. We've got the Googans in third, Tenny Pounder in fourth, and Goodwill pulling it in fifth. So you're going to be pretty surprised at the changes. I know I was. But before we get into that, before we get to looking at fish, let's watch the check-in videos. Let's see how these guys fared. See if everybody kind of dialed in some of those issues they may have been having. Specifically Tenny Pounder, those guys had boat issues. They were trolling motoring back to the landing. And the Bass Holes finally put some points on the board. From my perspective, I could see what they caught, but let's see what they have to say about how their round went. So without further ado, let's get it kicked off here with Team Tenny Pounder. Let's see what they did. Let's see if they got their boat fixed.
Team Tenny Pounder here, checking in.
Motor's running.
Motor's running back there. We've spent most of the day wrenching, but we're back in the saddle now, so got a couple fish since we've been back out, looking for some more. We're gonna try to go drown some worms here and maybe some dough balls or something else.
Hopefully keep the boat together. We'll see.
So, no canoe. I'm kind of disappointed, but yeah, still on Mississippi. We did most of our wrenching in a gravel parking lot, so that's where we've spent the majority of this period, is in a parking lot. But now we're back up here in Red Wing. So, anything else?
No, good luck, everyone. Better luck than us, at least.
I caught a trolling motor too, so that's the other news. So, yep.
Well, that's good news. They are on the water. Unfortunately, they had to waste an entire round wrenching on that bad boy, but it's good to see they're back on the water. Hopefully they can make up some ground here in the nighttime bite here in this third round. Wendy Johnson Wilcoxon guessing those Goodwill guys breaking last year's record. Yeah, they struggled last year. Let's get a look at, fortunately enough, they are our next check-in. So let's see how they fared. I know from the scoreboard things changed a little bit for them, but let's hear it from them.
Hey guys, it's Team Goodwill checking in, and we've got a few things to update you on. We picked up 4 out of the 5 species that we were looking for today, and we caught a ton of fish, just a ton of fish.
It was an absolute blast out there today. We caught more fish than I've caught in a long time.
Yeah, would you say we were trying to fight whether it was was it between 150 or 200 fish that we caught today? I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to tell. We caught a lot of fish. Yeah. So the biggest surprise that we had was we were looking for a big sunfish today, kind of upgrade off of trying to steal a point here, and we ended up picking up a green sunfish instead of a bluegill, which was a pleasant surprise on both of our parts. We missed out on the brook trout today. We're really hoping to upgrade or steal that point too, but yeah, it just wasn't happening. We might circle back around it tomorrow, or to it tomorrow, but
right now we're just getting set up for our night bite, and yeah, we've got a few species that we're going to try for here. Kind of a shot in the dark, but
I like that. Yeah, but we got a sandbar sitting back there behind us. We might check that out a little bit later. So good luck to you guys. Hope you guys caught a lot of fish like we did, and have a good night. Stay safe.
Catch you in 8.
Boys had a heck of a round. Sounds like a sleigh fest for them. We're able to upgrade a few fish, a little bit of a change to the leaderboard for them, and they've got big plans for this upcoming round. Interesting, they're showing off, these guys are really showing off where they're at. If you guys are interested in trying to chase them down and you know these waters, you could probably chase them down. I wouldn't suggest it. Don't go find them, but I mean, you probably could with how much information they're giving out here. So good work, Goodwill. Keep it up. Hopefully they have just as good of a round. Love to see these fish getting submit. So up next, we've got Team Mud Puddle checking in. Looks like they had a pretty good round themselves as well. And wondering if they made any spot changes here. They put up a fish that I've been looking forward to seeing. So let's hear it from them.
Guys, Team Mud Puddle checking in here at the end of period 2. We had a little bit slower of a period. We caught a few fish, but we had a lot of travel involved, and got to roll through the woods a few times, and we did find out a great way to deter the wood ticks, and the key is to coat your legs thoroughly with poison ivy. You won't get a single wood tick.
No ticks.
But we did manage to pick up a few fish.
Yeah, we were able to upgrade the largemouth. Also found a few more inches on the carp, and we were able to hook into a nice bowfin.
Hey,
yeah.
Let's see what you got, guys.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
There you have it, that bowfin. I've been looking for that fish. They were telling me early on during the anglers meeting that they had a bowfin spot. It's not one of those species that I would think of having a spot for, but they capitalized on it, put it on the board, just like they did last year. So that one's going to be cool to see when we get to the scoreboard. So another team that had a heck of a round, put some big numbers up, the Googans. So let's see what they did.
Googans here, check-in number 2. Hope everyone's doing well. We did not have a real busy period. We didn't catch a lot of fish, but we got a couple real solid points, we're hoping. We only fished one lake, but on the way we saw a wolf, so it was kind of like, well, we're bound to have a good period. So that was pretty cool to see a big gray wolf. But as far as fish go, Colton kind of ran the show for the fish.
Yeah, we struggled for the first hour trying to catch a sunfish. And then Riley caught a 7.5, and then I caught an 8.5, and then got to a 10.
Yeah.
And then in the midst of all that, I managed to catch a 18 or 17 1/4 inch smallie, and then topped it off with 18 3/4 after that. So.
Mm-hmm. And the 10-incher came on after we gave the one more cast call.
That was, yes. Riley said we had to leave right now, and we said one more cast, and
yeah, so might be the first time ever that's actually worked. So hope everyone's doing good. Excited to see what y'all got.
Good luck, everybody.
A little bit of gray wolf power there for some luck on these guys. 10-inch bluegill. That's a tank. I would love to put a 10-incher in the boat someday. I have yet to catch a fish of that size. So really cool to see something like that in this tournament. And calling it on last cast, that's great. So good work to the Googans. Not being much of a Googan here in the anglers list. So next up, we've got Team Hogsback. Looks like he has gained his partner, his brother here. Jake is no longer solo. But let's see what kind of update he's got for us.
What's up, guys? Checking in for Team Hogsback. Michael joined the crew for the afternoon. Michael, say hi.
Hello.
It was a pretty tough afternoon for Team Hogsback. We went after a couple of our previous species trying to improve. Did not. Caught some small fish. The only fish we're actually entering is an 8-inch white bass. So only one species for Team Hogsback for session 2. Hope you guys had better luck than we did. We're hoping overnight we can pick up some fish and get back in the game. But yeah, just one white bass for Team Hogsback. Good luck, everyone.
Tough go for Team Hogsback. Putting a fish on the board, a scoreable fish at that, so that's good. But with that, they did lose a few points, as you'll see here shortly. But they've got a lot of time. Everybody's got a lot of time to make up for. But I'm going to jump over the comments here. Something I overlooked on the Team Mud Puddle check-in. But Wayne Rondafar, wood ticks and poison ivy. Glad you got on the fish, though. Go Team Mud Puddle. Yeah. I guess if you're trying to keep the ticks away, find leaves of 3. I guess don't leave it be in that scenario. I'm not messing around with poison ivy. But, yeah, good on them for taking one for the team, I guess. I'm not into that. But anyhow, last but not least, we've got the bass holes checking in. They had a tough start, but as I was watching the leaderboard after I jumped off of live, those guys actually put a fish on the scoreboard right away. I'll let them tell you about it, but it was really cool to see. One of my favorite species as well. So let's hear it from the bass holes.
Hey guys, Team Bass Holes here. Just doing our hourly check-in. Been a pretty rough day. Only managed to get 2, even with that second period. Hopefully they'll do it. I doubt it. Caught a lot. Just not a lot of quality. Decided to switch her up. Now we're down here. Hopefully get some fish on the river.
Long night.
Yeah, very long night. Yeah.
We entered a 17-inch smallmouth and 22.5-inch walleye we got earlier today. Now time for some bigger fish, and
Maybe some sleep too.
yeah,
That'd be
we're
appreciated.
feeling greasy.
But good luck to you guys. Stay tuned.
Those boys are looking pretty worn down. Like I said, they scored a point and stole that walleye point with a pretty decent fish. Didn't look like their smallmouth held up, but good to see those guys putting fish on the board, and they're looking pretty wiped. So hopefully they can get a quick nap in, but they need to make up some ground before this thing is over. So let's get to it. Let's go check out our scoreboard. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you guys a look at how things change. I'm going to throw up the round one scoreboard, and then we're going to take a look at how things have changed and what it looks like now after round two. So let me get that up here for you guys right now. There you have it. So over here on the left-hand side, that is the round one scoreboard, as I said before. So you've got, well, we went through the standings there from round one, but if we take a look here at the new scoreboard on the right-hand side, a lot of changes, big changes at that. Team Goodwill, starting at the top here, has made up quite a bit of ground. They are still hanging on to that black crappie point with that 14.25. I really think that's going to be a tough fish to beat. We've all seen that fish. We saw the release in that last live stream. So if you missed that, might want to go back and check that out after we're done here. But let's take a look at the fish that they were able to score in this last round, and that being a green sunfish at 8.25 and a rock bass at 9.5. These green sunfish are kind of a nuisance fish to some, but I think they're kind of cool looking fish. So yeah, there you have it. There's that green sunfish, a big old mouth on them, cool looking gill plate with these orange fins and the cool coloring there. I actually really kind of like green sunfish. I actually figured out a trick here. We can zoom in. Check that out. That's a beautiful looking fish, in my eyes anyhow. So let's get a look at that on the bump board. Make sure we all can agree and verify that it was a scoreable fish. But yes, there it is on the bump board, coming in at 8.25 with our identifier there. So get a little zoom in on this bad boy. Pretty looking fish, tail touching the 1/4 inch mark. So there's their green sunfish. That is a point for them. I think that's very, very beatable. Those green sunfish can get pretty big. Not a lot of people going to be out there targeting them. I think everybody's focused on the bluegill point, but you could run into that green sunfish pretty easily. Next up, we've got their rock bass at 9.5 inches. Rock bass, kind of a fun fighting fish. Again, a fish that's not often targeted. Although, check this thing out. Kind of a cool looking fish. But there you have it. Tail touching that 9.5 inch mark on the bump board with our indicator in the picture as well. And let's see who we have as our angler. Oh, there we go. Mr. Cody Good holding that rock bass up. Now, 9.5, that's not going to get the master angler, but that's still a point for Team Goodwill. So Team Goodwill taking 2 points, upgrading from round one. They're at 3 points now on the board, which, as it looks, they are now sitting in, looks to be, it's second, third, fourth place. So they didn't really gain much ground. They gained a place overall. But yeah, making some ground up. And yeah, they've got a lot of time left to keep on stealing points and adding species to the list. Let's move on down the line here with Team Hogsback. They had a little bit of a setback. Like he said, he was only able to put up that scoreable white bass, but fortunately enough for him, it was a scoreable fish at 8 inches long. That white bass point was not on the board. Let's take a look at that fish on the bump board, and our trophy shot there's on the bump board. Let's zoom in there and get a look at it. There we go, touching the 8-inch mark. Your standard white bass. Those bad boys might be just about as tasty as a crappie in some scenarios, but a little less common around our local metro lakes. So wherever he's at, he found the white bass, and there you have it, his trophy shot. So Team Hogsback actually losing a point, and unfortunately for them, dropping a couple places from first place down to third place. So they've got some ground to make up, but he is partnered up now, has a second angler in the boat. So they've got a chance to make up some good ground here, coming into the night. Next, we have our new first place team. They take it officially. They had a tiebreaker that was beating them with Hogsback. They both had 5 points last round. Hogsback had them with the overall inches tiebreaker here, but Mud Puddle now adding species, stealing species. Looks like they overtook the largemouth point. They added the bowfin. They took over the common carp. Oh, no, they had the common carp, sorry. Added the bowfin and also added the pumpkin seed to the... Nope, they had the pumpkin seed too. I am just on the ball here. Anyhow, adding a bowfin to the list and stealing a couple points, upgrading a carp to that 22.5. So let's take a look at their new carp at 22.5 inches on the bump board. I'm assuming this picture is, but I never know until it opens. There it is on the bump board. Hey, let's get a little look at their tackle box too. What are we using here? We got some jigs, some plastics, looking a little beat up and ragged in there. We've got some hooks. So anyways, there it is on the bump board. They're at 22.5 inches for the common carp. Big old scales. There he is, touching nose to the board. So there's your common carp point right now at 22.5 inches. And we'll see who we had as our angler catching that fish. There it is, Mr. Dion Farr, holding up another common carp. Nice work, boys, upgrading a fish. And now let's look at the fish that I've been waiting for, one that's on my bucket list, a 20 3/4 inch bowfin. Now, I already looked at this picture because I saw it, and I wanted to see what kind of area they're fishing in. So there it is on the bump board. We'll get a zoom in on that. That is 20 3/4 inches. We are rounding down, so to the lowest or the nearest 1/4 inch, if it doesn't touch the next one up. So that is in fact 20 3/4 inches. Get a run up the side of that fish, nose touching the board. And let's see who our angler was that caught that fish. The elusive bowfin, or I think, is it dogfish is another name for it. So this is what they're talking about. Stumbling and bumbling through the woods, rolling through poison ivy, and evading the wood ticks. So cool looking fish. Heck of a fight is what I'm told. So nice work adding the bowfin point to the board. That is going to be a tough one. Not a lot of people going after that, from what I understand. So, and as we can see, they stole the largemouth point. They've got a 19 3/4 inch largie on the board. Again, I am terrible with largemouth and gauging poundage, but I know that's what a lot of people like to do. So if you're over in the comments right now, toss me an estimate here of what you think this fish weighs. I have no gauge. I'm going to say, 3 pounds. at 19 and what did we say it was? 19 and 3/4. I'm sorry, I'm losing track, but we can look on the bump board here. That is a 19 and 3/4. I'm thinking that's your 20-inch mark there right on the crease. So yeah, 19 and 3/4 inch largemouth, big fat fish. That's a tank in my book any day. And let's take a look at who our angler was that put this one on the board for them. Again, Dion Farr. Dion just putting on a clinic. And I'm guessing the guy holding the fish is the guy who caught it. So you see a lot of Dion up here scoring those points. Zach, you may need to step it up a notch. Or maybe you're just the net guy, and that's what teammates do for each other. So there is your largemouth point for round 2. So Team Mud Puddle gaining a point overall with a steal, adding a species to the list, taking over first place overall. Next down the list, we've got the Struggle Bus, Team 10 Pounder. They did not, they added another species to our list, the sauger, the cousin to our state fish, the walleye, a little 14-inch sauger. That is a point for them. Looks like they lost their smallmouth point. So let's take a look at this 14-inch sauger that these boys put in the boat down there on the Mississippi River. After all the work they put into that motor, there we are on the bump board, just over the line, but doesn't quite touch the 1/4-inch line. And some identifying markers there, spots on the dorsal fin. That gives it right away. We've got ourselves a sauger. Great fish, good point to have, very beatable point though. So let's see if they can hang on to that. Let's see who our angler was who took that point for those guys. AJ Walsh telling me that bass is somewhere around 4.2 pounds. Boy, that's a nice fish. I am impressed. And a beautiful sauger for Dan. I'm assuming that thing went back, but one can only guess. So there's your sauger point from Team 10 Pounder. While losing the smallmouth point to the Googans, they gain a species, add that to the board, and keep their 2 points. So they're still hanging on, but sitting in 5th place overall. So they've got some ground definitely to make up. And next up, we've got the bass holes. Those boys, like I said, put up a point very shortly after our last check-in, and I was pretty excited to see that. After that first round, they struggled pretty hard. So they put up a 22.5-inch walleye, stealing the point from Team Hogsback with a 15-inch walleye. So that 22.5 gives them the walleye point. And let's take a look at our fish here. All right, looks like Trent was our angler catching that fish. Looking pretty nice at 22.5 inches. Not sure where they're fishing, but if it's one of those lakes, I think that one goes back. I think they all go back in this tournament, but you never know. And there it is on the bump board. Excuse me. Let's get a zoom in on that one. Ooh, this one's not zooming in as far. Anyways, there it is, 22.5 inches. Sorry. There it is. And their indicator, drawing it on the bump board. I like that. Good technique, boys. So yeah, 22.5-inch walleye takes the point. All right, and our second place team here, guys with a really, really nice round, not holding up to the Guggen name and proving themselves as some pretty decent sticks, taking over the smallmouth point with an 18 and a 3/4 inch smallmouth bass. Again, not a great judge of size on these things, but I got to imagine that's a pretty dang good sized smallmouth. Let's take a look at that fish here. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Nice fish, Colton. Beautiful brown bass. We like to see it. it'd be great to see some more of these smallmouth put up. That is a fun fighting fish. Pound for pound, I'd put them up against the sunfish because sunnies are one of my favorites. There they are on the bump board, touching the board with the nose. Big, healthy, thick fish. And the tail right there at 18 3/4 inches. Beautiful smallmouth. There's our indicator crossing off last round's indicator. So, next we've got the 10-inch bluegill. One of those fish that us panfish anglers really are chasing after. If I said I caught a 10-inch gill, I'm guessing that thing's probably on my wall shortly after. I have yet to catch one, and if somebody's got a spot, maybe these guys will take me to their spot where they caught this one. So let's see what that looks like on the bump board and in their hands. Big, thick fish. Look at that. Big bull. Beautiful bluegill. That's the type of fish you want to see. Pie plates all day. Gosh, I love me a bluegill. Let's see what this picture is. Maybe it's a double. Oh, there we go. Just a look at that on the forearm, going up the wrist. Beautiful fish. Great colors on this fish. Nice orange underbelly there. Beautiful bluegill. And last but not least, on the bump board, let's confirm that 10-inch length. I've got no doubt in my mind that that's a 10-incher. And as indicated by the tail on the line, that is a 10-inch bluegill. Great fish to score in this tournament. Can't beat that. Awesome. So there you have it, everyone. That is your scoreboard for right now. Let's run back through it one last time to see where we stand. So Team Mud Puddle has now overtaken the lead with 6 total species. The common carp, bowfin, largemouth bass, pumpkin seed, channel catfish, and a goldeye, with a total of 100.25 total inches on the day. We've still got a period left here into the night. They've got 8 hours of fishing overnight, so who knows if they're going to take some breaks and sleep it out, or if they're going to try to hang on to this lead and stack them up. And now taking over second place is the Googans with 5 points. They've got the bluegill, the smallmouth bass, brook trout, splake, and rainbow trout. I think those trout are going to hang on. Not a lot of people targeting them. It sounded like Goodwill was trying and struck out. So they're hanging on there with their trout. Take over the smallmouth, and that bluegill is going to be really tough to beat. So good luck to those guys beating that point. Let's see if the Googans can stack them up even more. In third place, Team Hogsback lost some ground, added a species to the list with the white bass at 8 inches. Not a tough fish to beat if you're targeting them. Got to find them, though. So they are hanging on in third place with a white bass, a bullhead, a yellow perch, and a drum. Now it's a 2-man team going into these last 2 rounds. Let's see if they can make up some ground. They're going to need it to get back on track. Rolling in fourth place, we've got Team Goodwill. They've added the rock bass to the list, as well as the green sunfish, and still hanging on to that 14.25 inch black crappie tough point to beat. That green sunfish will, I shouldn't say will, but is a beatable fish, but tough to target green sunfish specifically in some scenarios, but you never know. And that rock bass, also a very beatable point, but many other fish on the list that could overtake that. So, and coming in fifth place, we've got Tenny Pounder. As we said before, they lost that smallmouth point to the Googans, but they added a sauger to the board. So they're hanging on with 2 points, hovering in fifth place. Overall, they've got ground to make up, as do the bass holes, but now they're fully functional. Boat's running. Things are looking good for them. So good luck to those guys in the coming rounds. And the bass holes coming in with a 22.5 inch walleye for 1 point, sitting in sixth place. Looking a little wiped, looking a little dejected in their check-in. Hopefully they can turn things around, start stealing points, adding species, doing what they can do to make up some ground here. But they've got a 5-point gap from first place right now. So good luck to those guys out there. I'm not sure where they're fishing, but hopefully there's a lot of different species out there. So one more time, just so you all can remember, in first place, Team Mud Puddle. In second place, we have the Googans. Team Hogsback coming in third place. Goodwill in fourth. Tenny Pounder in fifth. And the Bass Holes coming up in sixth place with 2 more rounds to go. All right. That's going to do it for our scoreboard. Now, let's take it over to the comments. Does anyone have any questions? Do you want to see anything new from what's been happening throughout this event? I've got score sheets. I've got submissions. We can take a look at more fish. We can just chat. I've got some time here. Probably should go to bed soon so I can wake up early for our live stream at 5. But Tammy Good says, go guys. Have a good night. Thanks, Tammy, for tuning in. Yeah, I've got a beer to finish. Anyone out there enjoying some adult beverages with me? Let's hear it. Still got 10 of you here tuned in. As I said before, don't forget to share the live streams when you're tuning in. We want everybody to tune in with you and check things out and see how this tournament's shaking out for everyone. Jeff Alsoff, be safe tonight. Yes, we want all our anglers to stay safe over the evening. Hopefully some of them are taking a break, as they had mentioned. And if they are on the water, following all regulations and rules for boating, get your lights on, make sure you're being safe, wear your PFD, all that fun stuff. Beth Ann Good, let's see. Can we see how many fish they submit each round, even if they don't make it on the scoreboard? Well, let's take a look at our score sheet one last time here. We've got our submissions list, and I can show you to a certain extent what that looks like. Let's pop that up on the screen once again here. So this is our submission list. It's got every fish they've submit in chronological order. At the top, thanks, Mom. Yeah, I'm pretty tired, but I'm getting there. We'll take a nap a little later. But yes, anyways, this is our list of fish that have been submit. This is the most recent fish at the top, and our first fish submit here at the bottom. So total submissions of 56. We've got 2 unapproved fish here with those red X's. That was some duplication, unfortunately, by those guys, but it does not disqualify anything. It was just a duplicate entry, so we did not count those. So overall, we're looking at 54 submissions of legal fish into this tournament. As you can see, some of these teams are firing off one after another in a row, and I've got some nice little filters here. So Team Goodwill, overall, they have submit a total of 15 fish in this event. That amounts to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 species on 15 submissions in the event for Team Goodwill. Team Hogsback has 9 submissions on the event, and that is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different species on 9 submissions. So Jake has been pretty selective on what he's submitting, but he is scoring points when he needs to. Lost some points this last round, but he can definitely make those up. Let's take a look at Team Mud Puddle. They've got 16 submissions for the total event, and that's going to amount to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that looks like 8 species on 16 submissions for Team Mud Puddle. So about 50% of their fish, or 50% different species. I guess that, I don't know if that math makes sense. But anyways, moving on, Team Mud Puddle, 16 submissions, 8 different species there. So I should mention these guys do have an award for I guess for each event. So this one here, this weekend, and the one in September. The team that catches the most most species overall will get a little prize. So I got to figure out how to total that up for them tomorrow, and that's what I'm trying to do here. We'll find a better way than just counting them in front of you, but I wanted to give you a look at it here. And Beth Ann had asked. So Team 10 pounder, 5 submissions overall, and it looks like 5 separate species. I'm sitting with 2 points. Looks like they have gotten some points stolen, but adding species to the list always helps. So these guys have a lot to do, a lot of fish to catch, but they're back on the water again. So again, 5 submissions, 5 different species for Team 10 pounder. We'll run down to the bass holes. These guys have been struggling a little bit. They have submit 2 fish, and for 2 different species with a smallmouth and a walleye. They will be making up ground. I've got to imagine. They seem determined and a lot of time to do it. And last but not least, we've got the Googans, who are not acting like much of a Googan here. So they've got 9 submissions and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different species. 5 species on 9 submissions, and they've got 5 points. So that's turning out pretty well for those guys. And like I said, the rainbow trout, the splake, and the brook trout are going to be tough points to take over. I think if people are targeting brook trout, that 7.5 is not a tough one to beat, but it's kind of strategy. Well, I wonder if anyone's actually going to go after trout aggressively. These guys went for it right away, traveled quite a ways, I imagine, to get there. So again, nine submissions and 5 species for the Googans. So that's what that looks like. This is where we're doing all our scoring. This is where we're seeing the fish come in. We've got timestamps so we can see when the guys are submitting fish. We can break ties with that submission time, and it's a really nice little system we've built here. It's not perfect, as you can see from the scoreboard. It's tough to get that stuff to show up the way you always want it, but it's working. It's getting the job done. So there is the submission list. Let's see, heading back over to the comments here. We've got Wendy Johnson Wilcoxon. Lots of fishing left. Keep your eyes open. Stay safe, and looking forward to the next check-in. Absolutely. Hopefully these guys do get some rest. Hopefully they're eating, staying hydrated, doing all that stuff. It gets pretty intense out there. My mom is commenting in the comments section here. I look beat. I feel beat. I did take a nap this afternoon. Went to the zoo with my family, and after we got back, I took a little nap. It was only about 15 minutes, but it felt like a good one. I woke up and thought I had overslept. So I'm well rested, but I'm going to go to bed early tonight. So Beth Ann, yes, lots of submissions. And that's what I keep telling them. Keep them coming. Keep the fish submissions coming. AJ Walsh, Brennizer, again, botching your name terribly. How do they submit? You guys built it. Yes, the submission application. I don't know what you want to call it. What I did is I used a program called Smartsheet. It's kind of like, if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, it is essentially Microsoft Excel on steroids. It allows you to build forms, collect data from out in the field. I use it. I work for a construction company. We use it to collect information from our field staff. And so I thought, oh, what a great way to let these guys have a mobile application. All they do is open a link that brings them to a form. They fill out the information, hit submit, and it brings it straight into this submissions list. And from there, we have Sherilyn Jacobson, who is Riley Jacobson of Team Guggen. It's his wife. She is helping me manage all of the approvals. We go through, verify what the species is, verify that the length is correct. That's why we ask for a picture of them holding it and a picture of them, or a picture of the fish on the bump board, along with that identifying letter. If you've been noticing, I've been pointing out the letter because that verifies that the fish is legal. So throughout the day, we're checking in. We can do it from our phones, we can do it from the computer, and we can approve the fish. And then we've built another little system through reports to go through, sort the fish by species, and these little stars on the submission list indicate that that fish earned a point because it was the longest of that species. And from there, it totals up into my scoreboard. So it was something that I felt confident that would work. It's a little bit clunky, as I know. I know there's a lot of stuff out there. There's things like like Fish Donkey and many other options out there, but we wanted to kind of keep it in-house. Fish Donkey does work really well. I've used it for other tournaments, online tournaments, but for what the guys here at the Anglers List wanted to see, Fish Donkey just wasn't going to get it done for us this time. And so we created this simple system, and it seems to be working out okay. Unfortunately, you have me at the helm, so I'll stumble, mumble, and bumble through the whole thing, and we'll make our way there by the end, and try to keep you guys updated as we do that. So thanks for the questions, guys. Keep them coming if you have more. I'm going to keep this going for a little bit longer if you guys have some more questions for me. We're pushing up on about 50 minutes. We can go for an hour. We can go for longer if you guys want to keep chatting. As we're waiting for more comments to come in, I'm going to do a little, thank you, Wendy. I'm having fun doing this. So I was pretty happy that they asked me to participate, and I'm really appreciative of you guys tuning in and making this all worthwhile. So thank you for helping me keep this going here. Before I let you all go, and as we wait for more people to chime in, if you would like, I'm going to throw it back to our Minnesota-made golf tournament. As I said in the past couple check-ins, Minnesota Made Outdoors is holding our first annual golf tournament fundraiser on Saturday, September 25th at Majestic Oaks Golf Club. This tournament is going to benefit our new nonprofit organization called the Future Anglers of Minnesota. And there's a lot of things that go into that. There's a lot of startup costs and equipment and things that we need. And on top of all that, we need money in order to get these kids what we want to get them. We want to get them tournament entry fees. We want to get them all expense paid experiences. We want them to be able to meet their idols in fishing, because these kids that we're selecting to be a part of Future Anglers in Minnesota are kids that have a passion and just need that extra push to move them forward in their fishing endeavors into their future. In addition to that, we'd like to be able to provide these kids with lifetime fishing license. As we all know, fishing licenses cost money every year for us. $20 here. They're always going up. Sorry about that. Prices are rising, and it's for a good reason. It's all about conservation. But if you can get your kids a lifetime fishing license when they're young, it's very, very affordable, and it makes a lot of sense in the long run. So what we want to be able to do for these kids that we're selecting for the Future Anglers of Minnesota nonprofit organization, get them lifetime fishing licenses, get them gear, get them experiences, tournament entry fees, whatever they're looking for, we want to do it for them if they meet the qualifications of whatever we set. In addition to that, we want to be able to get these kids some scholarship money. College is expensive. If these guys want to go to school, continue their education, and show that they're genuine good kids, we want to get them some money to help them further their education as well. So all of these funds for this golf tournament are going to help us get things started and start building that bank account so we can start getting kids on our list and helping kids out. It's all about the future of fishing. We need to usher the youth into this sport, and that's what our goal is with the Future Anglers of Minnesota. So if you want to participate in our golf event, please contact Jake Kuchenmeister at jakecook@yahoo.com to register. It's $100 per player or $400 per foursome. That includes golf, a cart, range balls, and a burger basket at our award ceremony afterwards. You can send a check to Jake. You can also send cash. Oh, sorry, need a drink. You can send cash, or you can send through Venmo if you use Venmo. The event will start registration at 11 a.m. at Majestic Oaks. 12:30 we'll have a shotgun start, and 5:30 will be the start of dinner and our raffle. If you are interested in sponsoring a hole at $100 per hole, and you have a company that you'd like to get a name out there, or just want to support this great cause, get in touch, and Jake will get you hooked up with that as well. If you have prizes that you'd like to donate, and we can put in our silent auction or in the raffles or what have you, also willing to accept that, as well as cash donations if you feel so inclined. We'd be very, very appreciative of any of that. Any support for this helps the future anglers of Minnesota and our youth anglers, and we need to usher these kids in the right way so they have the right mindset when they're going out there and fishing. So, all right, that's my best sales pitch I can do right now. So thanks for listening to all that. And it doesn't look like we have anyone else here in the comment section. Again, I thank you all for sticking with me. You guys have been here for quite a while, and I appreciate that a lot. We will be at it tomorrow morning once again at 5 a.m. to see how this evening period shakes out for everyone. Should be pretty interesting. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of sleeping going on, so we may see a decrease in fish submissions. I may, depending on how things go as far as fish being submit and whatnot into the evening, we may push the live stream a few minutes just so I can get things totaled up and get those check-in videos loaded up for us. But keep your eyes peeled at 5 a.m. tomorrow here in the same locations on the Anglers List Facebook page and the Minnesota Made Outdoors YouTube channel. We will be live tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. or thereabouts, as well as 1 p.m. once again. And then our final check-in tomorrow night to see who wins the event for the weekend. We are going to push that to 9:30. We want these guys to have a chance to fish as long as they need to, and time expires at 9 p.m. So I'm not going to ask them to stop fishing before time expires to submit a check-in video. So we've given them 30 minutes after lines out of the water at 9 p.m. to get me their check-in video. So we will be live tomorrow evening at 9:30 p.m., probably dog-tired and ready for a long nap, and then we have to start our work week. But it was all worth it. This has been super fun. Cole checking in, looks like he's taking a little bit of a break here to watch the live stream. Thanks, buddy. Having fun, and it's been awesome watching you guys catching fish. So wow. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this evening. We've been here for an hour and I'm tired. So thank you all. We'll see you in the morning. Come, bring your coffee, bring your questions. Be ready for maybe some excitement. I don't know. Let's see what you guys can catch. Cole, go catch a fish, buddy. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.